Hey guys, what's happening? What's going on? Welcome to another episode on the island. As you can see, it looks a little bit different. I've done quite a bit more on our little building over here. That's going to be our storage room, my AFK fish farm, and I think I'm also going to have, maybe another farm in here for some food. I haven't quite decided yet. So I'm going to have a fish farm down here, and I'm also going to have one, I don't know if you can see it or not, probably not way back up in there, but look at this. Look up in the upper right hand corner. Do you see that? 1.9. That's right. A string and queen upgraded us to 1.9, so now we are playing officially in 1.9, which is a good thing because today I'm going to work on the cave spider spawner. Oh yeah, I was going to show you this real quick too. Notice anything different there? Notice? See? My texture pack. This is clearly, if you follow B00, based on some of B00's work. And I've done quite a bit of work actually on the sandstone and red sandstone on the mesa. So not a lot of it's going to show up here just yet, but as we move on and do some other stuff, it'll definitely show up more. The one thing I don't like right now, I was trying to make the glass look a little different. I don't like that at all. So I'll probably be going back to the regular glass for right now until Optifine and Connected Textures comes out. Then we'll deal with it then. But today, we are going to go work on the cave spider spawner. Let's go this way. Yeah, I got a new staircase going on up there. I had it over here, but I got a bridge started over there, so now I'm all confused. But we're gonna head over. I'll run through the nether portal, or our little nether hub, as it's coming together. See? So what do we got over here? This is a new extension. This is going to the fishing farm, the AFK fishing farm, and the hostile mob farm. I've actually set that up at about 250 up in the sky, which I tried to show you just a second ago, but you can't really see it through that horrible glass, so we'll fix that. But now we've got to head over here. We've got the old Sunmark Kingdom over there. We've got, what is this guy? This is the mines, which I haven't really started much on yet, and our cave spider farm, XP farm. So the reason that I want to do this is in 1.9, I think I mentioned this, if not in the last episode, I've mentioned it before. Pistons. Let's see if we can get me some pistons real quick so I can show you that. Where's all my redstone? There it is. So I already got some pistons ready to go. So when you have a piston set on the ground, like a yay, so such and so forth, or in any configuration really, and you do that, so normally in the cave spider, you'd have something kind of going around like this. Well, actually, I take that back. It wouldn't look quite like that. Oh my goodness. Making a mess. Too powerful. I'm too strong. So you'd actually have that, like this. So you'd have your cave spider spawners, or your cave spiders coming up in this little hole right here. And you'd be able to kill them. You'd have like a fence post or something above, and then you come up here and you'd crush them to a certain point until they were down to like half a heart, and then you'd hit them. The problem now is if you have a cave spider in here, this becomes like a sticky block. It actually pulls the cave spiders back into here, and if you have openings around it, they'll spill out into the sides, or if it's solid all the way around, they will suffocate inside of that block. So the end result is the old cave spiders don't work anymore. Jeez, man, this pick is amazing. Sorry about that. I had somebody come to the door, and I had to go answer it, considering maybe I should get like a soundproof room or something, so I can't hear those things. Anyway, so that's the result of 1.8 upgrade to 1.9, is that the old XP farms using cave spiders doesn't work anymore. So we're going to do a new one that does function better. I've already built this in creative, and I did a little bit of a short, like 1 minute proof of concept video that I'll link to on here that shows how this thing works, and I'm going to build it in more detail here so you can see how all the redstone works for it. But the quick gist of how we need to set this up is you come in here and you've got your, I got to be careful because I've got haste on right now, so I don't want to punch things, but you've got your spider spawner, and the way that you want to clear this room is you want to go down 3 blocks, and you want to go up 3 blocks, and then over 4 and over 4. So you basically have a room that's 9 by 9 by 7 that's cleared with the spider spawner in the center. So 9 by 9 by 7. The one thing you can do if you want to, and which I have done here, is you can add 3 blocks to the top of it. And I've actually got 4 because I got up into the ocean floor a little bit there. But if you go up 3 blocks, so you'll have 1 more block set for the roof, and then you want 2 clear blocks above that so that we can do some stuff up there. In fact, I'm going to jump up there right now and show you why. Because I want to have lighting up in here. And so the way that you set up your lighting, and I've put a couple of blocks in here so you could see where I wanted these to go. See if I've got enough. Let's use granite to show those from beneath. And so what you want to do is this again, this is a 9x9 clear room. You want to come in one from the corners. So we'll do that over here. One from the corners, knock these blocks out. And then you want to find the block that's exactly 2 blocks in from both of those in the center. 2 blocks in, I've already done that one, 2 blocks in from the center. And then that's the center of, that should be right over the spawner when you look down, and it is. And then clear that bad boy out. And then come in here and mark these with something else, just to help you. You don't necessarily need to do this, but I like to do it anyway. And I don't have my redstone on me, I wish I did. Let's do this first. So what I want to do is add lights to the bottom of this. And so this is, again, totally optional if you want to do it. I like it because it allows me to turn the spider spawner off and on, and particularly this is really useful in, I've got a cave over here that I keep having, I thought I lit up, but I keep getting spawns in there. Darn it. But you want to do this so that you can turn this off and on. So let's get, I thought I had dirt, but I don't. Oh, come on, for crying out loud. Alright, so let's go up, and we're going to put our redstone lamps. One there, one there, one there, one there. Can I reach this one? I can. Can I reach that one? I can. I'll be darned. And just put them on the bottom of those guys. And so you don't necessarily need to mark them. I just find it useful because then I can come down here and do it a lot quicker and a lot more simply, and I know right where they go. So the thing you can do is you can actually embed those in the ceiling. So they'd be up 1 block and flush with the ceiling. The reason I'm not doing that, and I'll show you really quick up here, is that if you do that, then you have to make sure that this room up here is totally dark as well. And so a lot of times you have to do is you have to go back and fill in all the voids to make sure, because the light does leak through them, and it may actually negatively affect your rates. So, and then the other thing, it's just sometimes it's a little bit easier to simply lay down the redstone on the floor like this. And yeah, there you go. Pretty simple. And I'm not going to be able to make this completely dark because I actually wanted it open to the sky like this. And so the light from the ocean floor would go through those lamps and into the room below. Don't want that. And then we can go ahead and turn it on with this lever just as a quick test. Nope. Turn it on there. Let's take this down. And the other nice thing about doing this right now is that if it's working, I can go ahead and come down here and take out my torches. I don't have to worry about it. Later on, this should keep anything that we need in here from spawning. Anything we don't want in here. There we go. Alright, so that basically sets up our room. Again, 9x9 by 7 tall, and I brought this down 1 more essentially by putting those right there. And so if you did want to have those flush, you could actually lower the ceiling 1 and only make it 2 higher. I just chose to do it this way on my own. And then I've already got this one working over here, but so I thought I'd wait until I brought you guys in to show you what the dealio with that is. So we've got water flowing already, and I'm going to take a couple of these out just to give you an idea. So because the room is essentially 4 by 4 beyond, and water flows 8 blocks, what I did is I dug back 4 blocks on both sides so that I could put water sources in here and have it flowing directly into the center channel. You could certainly do that with other things like, or you could put in, what are those things called? Not fences. Why do we got fences stuck on the head? Signs. You could do signs all the way down the middle that prevents the water from dropping into here. I just like to do it this way because then anything that drops down along the wall, this is already flowing. It makes it a little bit more quicker for me, and I just, quite frankly, I just like it this way. So I keep doing it this way. There's certainly other ways to get water. But essentially what you need to do is you want to have it flowing into a center channel. That is kind of an important part of this because we're going in this direction. Let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go down 1 here. And we'll put some blocks back in here, but this is where we want to go to right here. I believe it's at 7. I may have to take 1 out. I can't remember for sure. 1. And then we want to go back from here 3 blocks. So, man, I got super crazy pick going on right now. 1, 2, 3 to here. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and I'll just put something else in here for right now, so just to mark it so I know right where it is. That's where our little, what do you call this thing? Our elevator, not really an elevator, but this is where the spiders are going to come, and then they're going to go up into the spot where we can get them up there. All right. And then the other thing that I need to do for the redstone is, so we have the 9 by 9 by 7 room here, and quite frankly, we just need to basically duplicate that over this direction. I'm going to need to take out 9 blocks back this way. It doesn't need to be cleared necessarily all the way up to the ceiling, but it does need to go all the way down to that floor level. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to clear this out completely so you guys can see what the entire thing is cleared, what the entire thing looks like cleared out. And then we'll come back and start working on the redstone and the walls that help close this thing in. All right, the next step is I'm going to go ahead and fill in this guy down here with water so that it matches this one. You can see how I fill that in. Then we're going to go ahead and do the center water channel back into where our spider elevator is going to be. And then I'll probably go ahead and build the center channel up to the point that where our floor is going to be located. So let's do that really quick. I've already got the water. Let's get some stone. And again, right now I'm just doing this with bare stone. I'm not going to concentrate at all on what the finished part's going to look like. I've got this kind of skylight right now over where our AFK chamber is going to be, and I'm probably going to raise that up and do something interesting with it. I'm going to redo the walls and all kinds of fun stuff. Right now, this is just an exercise of getting the functional parts working. So you guys probably have already seen this before, but I'll show it to you anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 7 basically blocks, water blocks along the back right here. And the easiest way to do that is to place one in the corner, place another one 2 blocks from that, grab the one in between, skip the block that doesn't have the water block on it, and it will create one, and just kind of keep doing that down. And this is how you do it. How you can do that with only using 2 pails. And so as you can see, that's kind of created the same situation we have over here. Now what we want to do is we want to go back and fill in this upper part right here, because we don't want anything to spawn in there at all. So this will keep stuff from spawning, and it basically just helps us keep this thing nice and closed off so that we are only having to deal with the spiders that are falling in the chamber. So, and then once we get the center water channel flowing and whatnot, then we can go ahead and take out these blocks. And this is going to be our the interior wall. So I went ahead and cleared it out just so I had room, but we're going to have to put this back at some point. So I'm going to go ahead and go up a couple of blocks so that as we open this up, we'll have the water flowing down in through here, and then I can block this off in here in a little bit. Now, I was going to come down here and put my water in here. The reason I needed 2 buckets is I'll show you actually this. I don't know if people really know this. So I'm going to do that so that it drops down, and now it's going all the way down. But what happens with spider spawners is if a spider gets in here and falls down right there, right where that drop is, they will stay down in there. So what you want to do is put another bucket of water right there. And what that'll do is that gets it actually flowing in that direction. I've had that problem happen before where they just get stuck in that one little spot and drowned, or hang out and never move. But by adding that second bucket right there, that ensures that everyone's flowing the direction that you want. And that wood is right where our hopper is going to go, and then we'll bring the hoppers over into here. And what I did in this room, and you can see this is quite a bit more cleared out than the essentially 18 by 7 box that I was mentioning earlier. It's 18 by 9 by 7. But I went ahead and cleared this one out because this is where I'm going to have my item elevator. And maybe I'll do this in a second episode. I don't know. I think you guys have probably seen enough of these. Basically, I'm going to have it'll be a dropper elevator that'll take it up, and then we'll have a item sorter so we can separate all of our spider eyes and thread and whatnot. Or string, I guess. Separate out our string. All right. So now we want to do... If I can get up here. Come on. All right. Let's go ahead and close this off. Like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put, let me see here. Yes, I'm going to want this to be blocked off up to there. And then we're going to have our, do I have them with me? I do. Let's move these guys around there. I have 2 of these guys, one over the top right there. And I'm going to go ahead and make actually some stone brick so I could tell what's what. There we go. And then this will be a, actually, you know what? I'm going to take this back. I'm not going to do it this way. Let me think about this for a second. Because we're going to want one to extend, and then once it extends, we're going to want it to pop up. You know, I don't have to think about this for just a second. I'll be right back. Plus, I have to go get some sticky blocks. I forgot my sticky blocks. Be right back. Okay, I got what I needed. Let's see, I need my sticky pistons here. I wasn't, I forgot how I was going to do this, but there we go. So I got sticky pistons there. I got one facing up. Because the idea is I want these two pistons to push this piston and this block out. And then I'm going to want this piston to then push that block up. So let's see, I need to do that. Because we got to carry that signal around. I'm going to replace this so that I know that it's redstone powered. I don't think I need anything right there. I need a repeater right there that'll activate both of those guys. A repeater right... I don't think I want it right there. I want it right there. So I may need to come out one. I'll put both of these in just in case I need them. Because we need to have this thing nice and solid. That's not what I wanted, for crying out loud. I gotta have the chamber solid here so that we don't have spiders getting out. There we go. That should go like that. I need a repeater right there. I think I want this one to go on 4 ticks and this on 2, so it's half. And then we need some redstone to complete this circuit, like that. And so that should push out. Do I have enough block? Yeah, I've got enough right there. So let's activate this. See if I can do it with this and that. There we go, perfect. And then I'm gonna want this to be 1 block below my finished surface here. So this is how I decided to establish my final floor elevation. So it just so happens it lines up with this, which is good. I think that was sort of what I intended, but I knew that I was going to have to test this a little bit later to make sure. So then we're going to have our spiders sitting in there. And so actually my finished floor won't be exactly right there. Do I have enough? I think I do. Let's see if I can get some here. So I'm going to want half slabs on here for a couple of reasons. Number one is because it's going to make this work a lot better. And number two, so that this room doesn't have any spawnable spaces on it. All right, so there we go. That's going to be right there. And then, do I have enough to make a fence? Actually, I might already have a fence in here. Let's see. For crying out loud. I think I've got a fence in here. Yep. Good dealio. See if I can get back over here. Oh, all right. Right there we go. And then if I do that, I'm not going to need this one right there because I'm going to put a iron trapdoor right there. And what that'll do is that'll make it easier to punch or slice the spiders as they're in there, because they'll be down closer to their level. And then rather than having to hit through this kind of tight area here, I've got a little more space to be able to whack them through there with the sword. Now what we need to do is remove a couple of these guys, because that's where my dispensers are going to go. Uh-oh. I don't think I wanted to do that. Dispenser? Yes, dispenser. Yes, thank you, dispenser. Let's get this block back. I could use just regular stone, but I'm going to use that. There we go. Now, that should work. Yeah, I think, what did I break? Okay, so that brought both of those back. Did that work? That sounded like it worked. Maybe I just had to reset. Yeah, I did. Sweet. All right. There we go. And clear. Then, so the reason we're doing this is when this pops in here, that sets the spiders, gets them into that block where we're going to have our dispenser. And this is going to have lava in it. This will have water in it. And so it'll cook them and it'll leave all the drops right there. But because we have this fence post here, we can't actually get to the drops. We can get to the XP, but not the drops. And so what'll happen is we open that, all the drops will go down into the hopper that's down there. And then we'll have a hopper chain that goes back into here and then up into our item filters. So that should work out pretty well. All right. So now I need to do my dispensers here. I'm gonna have to go find lava as well. I think I can use water for right now just to set it correctly. Let's see. So I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. So this is gonna carry the pulse from the sticky piston here. This is gonna be a little bit harder. Some serious parkour going on here. So we'll have that. The thing I don't like about this is that'll push up into here. Oh, I'm one block too high, that's why. Boop. So I'll be able to power that block. This block, on the other hand, is going to be the one where the sticky piston's going to be, like such and so forth, or come on. I gotta be a little bit better at placing than that. So we got that there. Then this will be on this side. That'll break the circuit. I need this there, there, there. And then I can break that one out. There we go. And then see, do I got enough repeaters? We'll see. Let's go up here. I get a repeater into this one. And sorry, my... wait a second. Nope, I need to go up one from this. Sorry, my parkour is probably a little bit dizzying because I'm not particularly good at it, apparently. So I got one there, got one there. I need one there. Okay, okay. Put that right there, and then that'll give me a comparator right there. So what we're doing is we're sending the signal into here, into this block, which has also got the piston on it. This is going to do a quick pulse, so this will go boop, ba-doop, back down again. And it's going to send a pulse in two directions. It's going to send one into this block, which will activate the dispenser, and then it immediately turns off. And then, or it'll activate the dispenser, and then we'll have another pulse. Come on, sorry about that. Jeez. We'll have another pulse that will, need redstone right there, that will shoot into this block. This will then in turn power this block, which will then in turn power the comparator, which will power that block. And that circuit, let's put, we got 0 ticks on here, we got 0 on there. I think I'm going to want 4 on here. I'll have to adjust these probably. I'll probably want at least 1 tick on there. I think I got it. It's hard to see. I believe so. And then let's just do a quick test here by, I can add this on, where is my, do I need a button? Or a lever? I think I want a lever. Pretty sure I do. Can never remember. Let's do this, and then we'll put a piece of redstone up right there. I think I do want a button. A lever won't do me much good. Tiny buttons. So we put a button on here. Okay, I think I need to adjust the timing here. Something's not quite right. Let's make that 1. Now let's try it. Let's make this a little bit longer. There we go. So I think that must be us. That must be set on 3. Let's get here and look at it real quick. That's on 2. I must have missed it the first time. So you can actually adjust this if you want the click to like last a little longer. You can see that you can hear it being a little bit slower there. But I think we probably want it on as fast as we can get it. So let's put it back to 2. Test it one more time. Yep, there we go. All right. So that circuit is essentially complete. I might have to adjust it ever so slightly. And now we're going to build the same circuit over here on this one. So we need to be out a block. There's going to be a piston there. Boom. That's going to give me power to this guy. We'll come out to here. That'll send power through here. Let's grab that while I'm down here. Alright, let's get back up here so we can see it again. So we're going to have that repeater there. It's going to power into this block, which will then have that block on top of it. Bust that block out. We don't need it. We don't need this block. We won't need that block. But we will need... So basically, it looks like a... I don't know if you'd say it was a circle. Kind of a cross with the middle missing out of it, which is how you want it to look. That means you know it's correct. And then we want to have that there so we have power coming in from this side. Great. There we go. So we're going to have, again, hopefully we'll get enough repeaters. Repeater into here. Ba-doom. We're going to have a repeater into here, both on 1 tick. Repeater going through there on 2 ticks. Redstone up here. Comparator there. And now that should give me the tick that I need to do the same thing we just did in the last one. So let's test it with this guy. Make another button. Button, button, button. There we go. Both of them are working like a charm. I just went ahead and closed a little bit of this off. I haven't done any more redstone. I just kind of finished off the edge of this a little bit, so it was a little bit more clear about where I'm placing redstone, and so you didn't have to have me spend a bunch of time doing that. So So what we're doing right now is we're starting to build this circuit from the very beginning. So from that button press, we're going to want both of these to fire at a very particular sequence in a very particular way. And so the first one we're going to want to fire is this dispenser on this side. And so with our button coming down, all we're really doing is we're tying it into that same circuit. So now if I do it, we've actually got that that working. So let's... I wish I had water. I'll worry about that in a minute. So let's go ahead and get the next circuit going. So what we want to do now is we want to go from that same pulse, and we're going to go into a clock that will extend time a little bit and will allow us to fine-tune how much time we have between when that dispenser fires and when the other one fires. So that is what we're going to do here. I need to run that circuit over here a little ways. Oh, I really didn't need to do that all the way down, but I did anyway. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tie into that right there, which is that one, that second circuit on the second dispenser. But right in between these two, we need to build this little clock right here. So let's give myself enough space to do so. Something like that. That should be enough room. And then it's going to be a comparator decay clock. And hopefully I'm going to have this right. I think I'm only going to want it to go 1... Do I only need 2? I think I might only need 2. Let's go ahead and do it this way. Let's get rid of these guys. And then we're going to put this here and this here. And then I'm going to have the other decay going this direction into this block. I'll have to get rid of that. But I got to light up my redstone so I don't have a bunch of things spawning down here, so I got to put it back. And then we need some redstone dust that will be going from this circuit and should be passing all this up until it ties into this one. So what this is going to do is this is going to hit this block, and it's going to send a pulse that I need a redstone torch. Should have some in here. Yep, there we go. Redstone torch on this side. And then that should give me dust going this direction. Oop, that, I don't want those guys. Let me think about this for a second. Let's put this up on this block then. We're going to do like this. Put it up here. Boom, boom, boom. 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 That should work pretty well right there. So what I'm doing is I've got this torch right here that'll be powering this block. I'll have to move this out of the way again. I think I'm going to need... Let's put that right there. That should work. And we need our dust back so that we can power on top of this guy. Oh, I didn't need to do that. I just need it up here. Derp. Derpity derpity derpity. Oops. Come on. Ba-doom. Over there. There we go. And then that's how you can tell if this one's working correctly. Is this one's going to be powered off, that one will be powered on, and you will want it to be powered on. So that tells us that it is working correctly. Now all I need to do is put 2 dust back here. So this is important. So what's going to happen is that signal is going to come from here. It's going to come down. It'll split. It'll send a pulse through this dispenser. So it'll click on and click off. And then we actually want some repeaters in here. Let's put in one right here. Set it to 4 ticks. So then that pulse will come by, it'll be delayed slightly, and then it'll go into this comparator decay clock. And so that's going to send a pulse through here, and then this is going to remain powered. And when this is powered, that's going to turn this circuit off, which is what we want it to do first, and then it's going to make this piston collapse, or close. And then it's going to sit while this decays, and it decays, and it decays. And then at some point, it's going to lose enough power that this is going to turn back on again, and it's going to send that second pulse, just like we did on the first one, back through this. And what we're doing by putting these delays on it is we're just kind of fine-tuning the time. So what'll happen is if in your world, say you got so much stuff going on and that maybe your timing isn't quite right, this 4-tick repeater and that 4-tick repeater are the two that you can adjust to sort of tweak that time. I got them both set on 4 ticks right now, and just through testing, I found that that's the right amount of time to spend on doing that. So with that, I think that actually closes up all of our redstone. It should be functioning pretty well. So let's do a quick test here. Fires. We got time. You can see it decaying down there, slowly getting fainter and fainter. There it goes. So that amount of time between those two is exactly what we needed to be able to get those spiders down to half a heart. And so we're going to put lava in this dispenser, the first one, and water in that second dispenser. And so lava is going to light it on fire. It'll be on fire for, I don't know, a couple seconds. Water's going to put it out, and they'll be at half a heart, and you can just punch them until your heart is content. Or you can use your sword, and with the I'm not sure what they call it, but when you swing a sword in 1.9, it deals damage to other entities around it. And so in this case, they're also confined. You hit one spider, boom, and they're all at half a heart. It deals that half a heart of damage. It kills every spider in there. So you let this build up to 300, whack once, and you're going to be sitting there with XP in your face for a long time. So I think what I'm going to do now is, since the redstone's done, I'm going to go ahead and close all this up, do a little bit of dressing it up just a little bit, and then we'll come back and I'll have proper lava bucket and water bucket in here, and we'll see it working. So we'll be back in just a second. And here we are in the basement for all intents and purposes, because I have to show you something down here. So on that decay clock, as you guys may remember just a few minutes ago, we had 2 repeaters that were set to 4 ticks. There's one that's kind of over there underneath that torch. We had a second one right here. And what I ended up doing was adding a third one set to 3 ticks. Just before it went down into the actual circuit for that dispenser. And the reason I ended up doing that is I realized I had my strength beacon turned on, so it was kind of cheating a little bit. And what I also wanted to do was to make sure that this would function, it went too far, perfectly well with something as simple as a single swat from a iron sword. Instead of having to use a sharpness sword, you could use an iron sword with no enchants on it whatsoever and get the same result. So but anyway, here we are where it's more or less complete. I still have all the aesthetic part of it to do. Right now it's just I got all the functional part up and working finally. And the other quick changes I made from the last video after testing it for a little bit, I decided to go ahead and put a cobble pillar in instead of a fence post. It does tighten up the spot a little bit, but one thing I did notice is that the spiders can still get you. They can still bite you and give you poison, and this seemed to cut down on it a considerable amount. And then I also ended up adding these iron trapdoors all the way around on all 4 sides, just to be able to get down and get into that XP from any side instead of having to run around on one side or the other. And the last thing I did is I put a stone slab up here, and so you could actually stand right here on top of this slab as you're AFKing, and it works pretty well because the spiders can't see you, and well, I guess they can sense you, so they're coming up, but you don't have to worry about getting hit by anything. So there you go. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights off, go ahead and let this build up a little bit, and we'll come right back and show you how well this thing actually works. Lights off. Come on, boys. Come and get Papa. Alright, I let it build up for just a few minutes, not very long, just long enough to make it work. We can turn off the light here, and then go ahead and activate our trapdoor, and then come over here and hit this guy. Here we go, they're on fire right now, and something to be aware of is that they can be a little bit agitated. We'll see if it comes off now. Sometimes you'll see a little smoke come off. Just give them a little bit of space for a second before you come in, and then one hit, wham, got them all. And then you can just sit here and get your XP. That works out really well. So I didn't get much XP because I didn't have it building up for very long. That was only like 2 or 3 minutes, but then you can open that guy and your drops fall down and you can get the next batch. So altogether, it's working out really well. I think I will do a little more work on making it a little bit more interesting and attractive, more than just stone. But I don't have time in this episode. I am out of time for today. This has actually run much longer than my typical episode, but that's okay. Hopefully this is useful for you guys. Hopefully you can build it in your world. And if you do, just let me know. I'd love to go see it. So thank you all very much for watching. Please have a great day, whatever day or evening you currently are watching this on, and leave a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you all very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.